Click.
We're good until...
Oh, yeah. We're good unless we're living down by the river in a van. Then you know we're not doing well. Just reaching out and getting, how do you get people to know about your gym?
Yep.
At least if they know about you, they can come. If they don't even know about you, then you're not there.
Welcome to Fireside Chat with the Johnstons. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Justin.
And we are here today with a really good topic for you. We own a gym in Warrensburg, Missouri, kind of a small town, 20,000 people in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And we have owned our gym for 13 years. We do...
13th season, right? So is it actually 13 years or?
Well, sort of. We started off as contractor. I was a contractor at an Air Force base. And so that was technically season 1 and 2 when we did that. And then some of you guys say like, oh man, I don't have a full floor. No, I had a gym floor with 1 panel mat and 3 teams. We used to mark our roles like this.
Yeah, 1 panel mat. Yep.
Yeah, and the parents were just on the bleachers right next to me. That's how we did it. But then we grew to where we are today, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We offer, just for your reference here, we offer competitive cheerleading, tumbling, hip-hop, ninja, gymnastics, dance, birthday parties, batting cages, like all the things. Because in a town of 20,000 people, that's about the only way that you have a whole bunch of kids in your gym.
And what do you mean by a whole bunch?
We're at about 600 right now. We've been up to about 700 and then raised our price and saw the natural decline, which is normal. So if you recently raised your prices, don't stress.
Yeah.
Look at the number, not the number of athletes. Look at the revenue, because a lot of times you can do the same amount of revenue with less athletes. And of course, we want lots of kids in the gym to help them. But then you have to kind of bring back that element of value all over again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're filming this in the morning, which is kind of new for us.
It's a little early. Yeah.
Yes. Last night was Halloween, and so we were up late. I would love to say we were out with little kids trick-or-treating.
We were not.
We're not.
This is the first year with not taking kids out trick-or-treating. So Danielle felt really sad, and so she made me drive her around the neighborhoods and just go look at costumes and setups in people's front yards and stuff. So
the inflatable frog was probably the best.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was funny. So yeah, our youngest is a freshman, and the next youngest is a senior, and so yeah, and then 2 out of the house. So
yeah, they wanted to go with their friends and go hang out, which that's cool.
Super cool. Also, we live in the country, so there were no I couldn't go pass out candy and then be like, oh, look at the cute little kids.
Yep.
I sound like a creepy little witch from Hansel and Gretel.
I'm going to put you on a corner somewhere and let you hand out candy for Noah.
Here, little kid, take this candy. All right. Well, speaking of dark things, today we are talking part 2, the dark side of success.
Yes.
Last time we were on here, we talked about what it's like when you are successful and you have people that just are not super kind about it.
Yeah. It's almost like they are jealous. It's kind of a jealousy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of, what that might look like and all that. And today we're going to get into the cause of it and how to handle that kind of negativity, because it's definitely not something that you want to sit and just, bask in, because it can ruin your business.
Yeah. It can ruin a lot of stuff, relationships, your feeling towards your business, a lot of things. So, and it doesn't need to. So.
Gives you that imposter syndrome, like you don't deserve to be where you are, when in all reality, you worked to have that success. Most people don't. I would say it's rare to have people that just have it by accident or by surprise. Right? There's a certain element, like certain skill set that you probably have most of the time, whether you realize it or not, that got you to that point.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the root causes of this darkness. First of all, comparison. This is something that even I find myself still doing today. You might be doing really well in your gym and you're seeing all this success, but you still tend to compare yourself to a gym down the street or another program. Maybe it's a mega gym that's near you. It doesn't matter how well you're doing. You tend to be thinking, oh, they're doing so much better than me. How do I get that blingy of a uniform? How do I get that many kids to come for my half season teams?
Could be a dance studio as well, things like that. Yeah.
So especially if you're in a small town, a lot of times you're not comparing yourself to a mega gym. If you're in a small town like us, you might be comparing yourself to the dance studio, or even like our community programs sometimes are really good. Mm-hmm. Our high school actually did, and our kids were part of this, but they did a cheer clinic. It was a junior cheer clinic, and it was a decent price on it, but they had over 100 girls come for it. And I sat there comparing myself for a minute because I thought, man, I don't think I could get 100 girls to come for something like this. Mm-hmm. At the same price point, I just don't think I could. Why is that? And so it was an element of comparison that it can overtake and overshadow your moment of success.
So another root cause for the darkness is other people projecting their feelings on you. Mm. It's amazing how many people will give you advice, and it's usually negative advice when it comes to business. I don't understand. Like, we understand why, but I wish people knew that they were literally projecting their own feelings of, I'm so scared for you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you this advice to be careful.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad advice. It just wasn't particularly helpful.
Don't do this. Don't go too far. Don't get too big. Those types of things. And a lot of those things hold you back because it inhibits your creativity and your joy a little bit. And so it inhibits it. I don't know. I wish there's a better way to say that, but yeah.
Well, that's good actually, because it kind of makes you think too, that when people give you that mentality, is it because they believe if they couldn't do it, then neither can you?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times that's the case. I've actually had that situation before, and I've kind of approached it with the person, and that wasn't in fact the case. It was just that they were so fearful for us. In fact, I think the last episode we talked about how when Justin went to quit his job, the guy who sat down and talked to him from our former employer was like, my parents did this and it was really hard and they didn't make it.
They failed. Yeah.
They failed. In a sense, that's a projection onto you.
Yeah.
It's like, I think he was maybe trying to be helpful. I don't think he had bad intentions.
But it's the receiving part was like, you're not going to make it. I doubt you're going to make it.
You'll be back in 3 months.
You'll be back. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, it just inspired me even more. Honestly, that's what I took it as. I inspired me even more. No, I am going to make it. This is going to work.
What did you, even today, this many years later, what do you say to me? Do you remember about like, we're good until?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I say that all the time, but yeah, we're good unless we're living down by the river in a van. Then we're not doing well.
It's actually not.
But until we get to that point, we're doing pretty good.
It's actually not even a river in our town. It's a lagoon.
But it's from a Saturday Night Live skit, and so people usually she understands what I'm talking about. So.
Oh yeah. But, I tried to make a joke the other day about a Saturday Night Live skit. Actually, it was in our meeting about like the driving cat, and I don't really know that everybody remembers those things anymore. We're getting too young.
Is the driving cat, the cat who can drive a car. He drives around.
But for real, like, it has to be something that you are pushing towards, that you just are not going to give up on, and you're going to refuse to fail. That's the way to be successful and to continue pushing. And so when you have that kind of mindset and you're pushing, people are going to come out of the woodwork going, hey, be careful, you're pushing too much. It's what it is you're going outside the norm. What is normal? If it is not normal what you're doing, then people are going to notice and they're going to start saying stuff because it's not normal. Like, you're pushing too fast, you're pushing too far, you're staying up too late, you're working too hard.
Yeah.
And when you're doing too much, people start noticing and start saying things. Because what does it show? They reflect on themselves now and they're like, well, how come I'm not doing that? Oh, well, they're eccentric. They give you a label almost sometimes. They're eccentric. They're an overachiever. They're a workaholic. And they give you, they just put some words on that like that. What it does is it makes them feel better. And so putting labels on people like that makes people feel better. And now they can justify why they don't overachieve and don't work harder.
That's really good. We were actually at a conference recently and somebody, was asking a question and she's like, well, I don't know if you were in the room for this, but she's like, well, I just struggle with this because I'm an introvert. And the speaker said, no, you're not. That's a label. It's a label you put on yourself.
Ooh, yeah.
And I just thought, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That is pretty good.
So all of this, people projecting their own fears, a lot of times comes forth because of number 3, a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
You would think of all the people that, are out there owning gyms, that people in towns of like less than 30,000 even would not, like, we should have the scarcity mindset over anybody. And to be honest, I don't. We, when we opened our gym, we had 3,000 kids in the school district. And, let's assume that like 500 of those are high school kids because that was actually the number at the time. And so maybe they're not as much our audience as the others, but that's assuming that you only start at 5 years old with your classes. Like I could have 3,000 kids if I could get all those kids.
Yeah.
Let's assume even half of that. So girls are probably more my target market than boys, right? I think by natural influx, that's what happens. That's still 1,500 girls between kindergarten and 6th grade that are my audience. So like, why would I be worried if a second gym comes into town?
Yeah.
Even Samantha, she's our head coach for the Next Gen Academy. She's in a town of 1,000 people. Samantha has 230 kids in her gym. And there are other programs within 15 or 20 miles. And in this kind of area where it's like cows and stuff, it's totally normal to drive 15 to 20 miles for something. Mm-hmm. That scarcity mindset is something that I think we get in our heads a lot, but it's because we don't have the facts. There's so many people I talk to that when I say, well, what's the population in their town, your town? They're like, well, I don't know. I've never looked at it before. Look at the population in your town. Didn't you hear somebody the other day say they're in a small town and it was like 50,000 people?
Or more. It was, I hear people tell me, I always have to ask now because when somebody tells me they live in a small town, I'm like, can you quantify that? Because, some people think 100,000 is a small town.
Right.
And then, but we have people down to 1,000. That's actually pretty small in my comparison.
Yeah.
But, we think 20,000 is small, but it was just the other day, somebody told me it was around 70,000 people in their town. And I was like, I wish.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was on a train in Chicago the other day.
I want to be in your small town. Yeah.
I know. And I heard somebody talking about Lincoln, Nebraska, and she's like, oh, it's just kind of a small town. And I was like, there are a lot of cheer gyms in that area, like kind of surrounding areas and like nearby right there. That's like 3 or 4 of my town.
Be happy with what you have.
So the neat thing about living in a smaller town or a bigger town is in a smaller town, you do have a little bit less, obviously it's just a fact, you have less people, but you have more opportunity typically for land and facilities.
Oh, and to build,
So there's pluses and minuses to both.
True.
To both areas. The other one, you got lots of people, but usually it's a little harder to find facilities or even purchase in the future.
Yeah.
So, but you've got the people. And so it's one of those, it's a give and take on some of these things. So
I do think in a smaller town too, this is probably a whole fireside chat to be honest.
It probably is.
You can spread the word about your business a little bit easier.
Yes.
Whereas when I lived in Chicago, like my neighborhood of people didn't even really talk to each other the way that, here I go to Walmart and like it's impossible to not see people
Yeah.
So
I'd say one of the things though for this scarcity mindset is you don't realize that not everybody, even in a small town, knows who you are. Mm. It's crazy. Yeah. You would think in a small town, everybody would know who you are. But even in a town of 20,000, we find tons of people that don't even know who we are or where we're at, even though we feel like we're saturated. Like we feel like everybody knows who Twisters is.
Facebook doesn't even take all my money on ads.
So it is amazing, like how many people still in your area probably don't know about your gym.
Yeah.
And so just reaching out and getting, how do you get people to know about your gym?
Yeah.
At least if they know about you, they can come. If they don't even know about you, then you're not there.
That's probably another good fireside chat.
Yeah.
How to help people know about you.
Yeah. So scarcity, Get that out. You got to get that one out of your head. There's plenty of opportunity. Opportunity is everywhere. Actually, opportunity is for the grabs, is up for the grabs. So whoever's the most active and getting out there and capturing people. I shouldn't say capturing people.
Don't capture people.
Yes.
That's illegal.
There's certain words you don't use. So capturing, it's not a good one. But you know, finding your people that need to come and see your gym. So
yeah.
All right. How to handle negativity. There are people that are just going to hate you. Haters going to hate, right? That's the word.
That's what I wanted to title this episode, but I thought maybe it wouldn't be professional enough.
Yeah, but haters are going to hate. Some people are just negative and you're not going to make them happy.
Yeah.
They're not your tribe. They're not your people. They're not the group that you're wanting to bring into the gym. Some people just are just negative. And that's okay. That's not your issue.
And other gym owners and business owners too.
Yeah. Yeah. They can be very hateful.
Family members.
But here's the deal with that.
They are not your problem.
That's their problem. If you're out there doing good business and providing a good product, there's no need for the hate. There really isn't. So you continue being you and doing what you're doing and growing your tribe. And the people that are haters and don't like your stuff, they will fall away. That's one reason that we like competition. I love having another gym to send them to. Hey, I appreciate you trying out our gym, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's a good fit for you and your daughter, or your child. But I would promote, I think this would be a good gym. It's right down the street.
Even if you can't necessarily like promote the other gym or say lots of great things about them, that person might like that other gym better than you because they're going to run out of options at one point. And so we've seen a lot of people. I wouldn't say that we've had to release tons of people over the years, and a lot of them came in those first couple of years. I would say maybe 12 people, maybe that's even high, the number of people we've had to release in 13 years. And the bulk of them, like 3/4 of them, were in those first couple of years.
Yep.
But we were establishing our brand. We were trying to figure out who are we. And when you're trying to make changes, it's hard for other people to get in line.
And you're accepting everybody at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, we want money. We want kids on our team. So we're taking everybody. Your daughter wants to be a flyer. We'll try. It's like,
she should go to Flyers class. Maybe we can put her in.
Just bring her on. All of that stuff.
And I think
she wants to be level 3. Okay, bring her on. Yeah.
She's got to tuck on the trampoline. Okay. We'll work with her. And I get it. We were doing this on a gym floor. Like, I was willing to take anybody at the time because we just needed to be able to fill teams. So I've been in your shoes. If you're like, yes, I will take this kid who has a tuck on a trampoline because maybe she'll be able to get a tuck on the floor by November. Like, I've been there. So I'm not giving you trouble on that. I'm teasing you because you won't be there forever. If you do the right things, you're not there forever. But yeah, it can definitely be hard. And when other people are not so great about it, it's not your fault. It's not your problem. It's their problem. So when those kind of things happen, you really need to maintain boundaries. If that means that you need to unfollow them on Facebook or Instagram, unfollow. You can even do that in nice ways. I've told people this before and they're like, well, I don't want to be rude. Like, okay, then just hit hide. Like, you can hide their posts. You don't have to see them.
For 30 days or something. Yeah.
There have been people that I really care about who leave to go to another gym, and it just like hurts me sometimes to see their posts for a period of time. You get over it and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But it hurts me to see their posts for a while and I have to hide them because I don't need that stuff going through my head when I'm trying to build a program for the kids who did stay.
Because honestly, up to about, I would say 150, 200 kids, you knew everybody's name.
Oh, yeah.
All of the kids.
Probably even past that.
Yeah. It's very typical for a gym owner to know everybody's names up to a certain amount, which it just gets to be too many. Right. And so all of those people, you know them. And so when they're leaving, it hurts. But as you're growing, you're adding in like, okay, well, 1 left, but 10 more came in. And so it starts to get a little easier. Like, okay, there are people out there that are just not a good fit for my gym. So.
Or they outgrew it in a way or something like that. And it's okay to unfollow them for a period of time. There were a couple who left a few years ago to go to a bigger program, to a world's program. And by the time they made it to that team, I was cheering them on and watching them on the live feed and cheering them on, because I had my time to kind of like process it all. A few years. And then I was able to like be excited for them. And when I see them now at the high school football games, I give them a hug and stuff like that. It just takes time.
Yeah.
So during that period of time, parents would come to us and say, well, so-and-so, I heard that, she's not even throwing or tumbling down there, or she went down there to be a flyer and she's actually a base. There were lots of moments that I had to tell other parents, like, hey, I appreciate that you're just trying to keep me in the loop, but I need to like reshift my focus, because that's hard. That's hard for me to hear those things, because I love this kid.
It's hard to let go.
And so you might have to set boundaries with other people, with your staff and with parents, to be able to keep your head clear. Don't allow your emotions to be spent on somebody else. Allow them to be like refocused into what you need to do to grow your business.
So the next one is actually stay focused. Yeah, stay focused on what you're doing. I think I talked about this in the first episode, but if you're staying focused and you're getting some negativity, that just tells you you're going in the right direction.
That's right.
For real.
Yeah.
Unless you're being a negative person yourself and like encouraging it and just being like, I'm going to be negative, and then she's negative, and then, now that's not good. But if you're being positive, you're putting out a good product, you're doing a great service, and you're getting some negativity here and there, those are signs from the universe saying correct direction, right path, keep going.
Yeah.
All right. So take that. If you're getting no negativity and nobody's talking about you, once again, you're not doing anything in the universe. So if you are, people will talk about you.
So guys, the moral of the story here is that it's important to take good advice, be around positive people who want to see you succeed. And when those people come, when the hater's gonna hate, shut them out a little bit, because you have got to be able to focus on you and your staff and your current athletes and the people that are there supporting your gym. So guys, with that, we are so glad to have had you here on Fireside Chat with the Johnsons. If you are watching on YouTube right now, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you're listening on podcasts, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast, leave us a good review, and share it with a friend.
If you liked it, leave a good review.
If you hated it, click over to Dan's podcast and see if you prefer that one instead, the Cheer Biz podcast. All right. Well, it was good to see you guys. We will come back next week, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to not be the negative person, how to not be the darkness, because there's an awful lot of people in our industry who could use some more positivity in their lives. And those who are positive, who have their moments.
One of the things, just to throw this in at the end, one of the things about being positive is having a well-run gym.
Yeah.
If your gym is running well and you've got things in place and it's picking up, you're a positive person. But if it's not doing well and it's plateaued and you're bored and you're working all the time, it can be a very negative experience. So
totally,
we'll just throw that little nugget out there before.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we will see you guys on the next episode.
Ciao.